Hey, good Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. Finally Friday, right? This has been a long week of winter weather, and I think this is for many people the first week back since all of the holidays. So since your Christmas week, we had 2 days off, and then your New Year's Eve week, also 2 days off for some people, and now we have a full week this week. So maybe a bit of a long one for many people. We have right now, you can Can you guys hear my dog in the background? I start this live and then she wants to play with all of the loudest toys. So you may hear her a little bit. All right, we have all of those all of the snow showers going on right now. I mean, we've got a snowstorm going on, and my dog is being very loud. I hope you guys can't hear that. We've got snow anywhere from Evansville over 2 inches in the southern side of Indiana. We've got snow through Tennessee as well. We've got up to 5 inches recorded in Jackson, Tennessee. And then we've got freezing rain as you head farther down to the south. So you can actually see that change over from all of that snow up in Chattanooga and then all the way down to Birmingham. We've got freezing rain reported, freezing rain out in Columbia in South Carolina as well. So a little bit of everything out there. We'll get through some of these graphics here, but I also have your live cameras from your snow camera right here. That is your snow camera out in Arkansas. They've got some traffic backed up on the highways out there because of the snow. And then if you look to the camera just to the right, that is the fires in California ongoing right now. And then there's your radar. But I'm going to get to the graphics here, and then we'll get to those cameras here in just a few minutes. But let's talk about the graphics here. Let's see, where should we put this? I don't want my camera to be in front of the graphics. Alrighty, here's your weather headlines today. Winter storm rages on. Snow and ice are coating anywhere from Arkansas to the East Coast, which we just talked about. We're seeing fires rapidly spread across. Let's move the graphics back. There we go. You guys get to watch me produce at the same time as I'm talking to you. So yes, those fires are still a concern out in California, especially on the southern side of California. We've got high wind and very, very dry conditions, and that of course is going to lead to fire danger once again. We'll talk about those wind speeds here in just a few minutes. And then we have a Pacific storm coming off of our Pacific Northwest, and that is going to bring winter storm watches and advisories and alerts all the way into the Rockies for tomorrow. So hey, really quick, before we get into the rest of the forecast, head over to raising-hail-tour.com and sign up for the Raising Hail Tour. If you use this code, it is $15 there you go, $15 to go to the Raising Hail Tour, which is a lot of fun. So here's what we do at the Raising Hail Tour. We get to see Derek's live forecast for the hail forecast for this upcoming season. So there we go. There's your code, RHT Taylor 10. So his forecast for this upcoming season means this spring season, the severe weather season, what are we expecting in terms of hail? So you can be the first people to see this forecast, and then you can prepare, and that really elevates your business and gets you ready for the spring season. We've also got other speakers that you get to learn from. They are experts in their field. So contractors, roofers, insurance agents, you are going to want to come to this Raising Hail Tour. Use code RHT Taylor 10 for $10 off. RHT stands for Raising Hail Tour. RHT TAYLOR 10. Head over to raising-hail-tour.com. I'll be there at that tour. I'll actually be emceeing it, so I'm very excited about that. We have 6 different cities that we're going to. Alrighty, what did we see yesterday? We saw all of that snow across Oklahoma and Texas, moving into Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and then into Tennessee through the overnight hours. It looks like we also saw snow through Alabama and the northern side of Georgia. Now, this radar doesn't do a great job of outlining what is snow, what is freezing rain, what is rain. If you look farther down to the south, this is rain. You see these wispy blue colors. This is definitely snow. And then we've got that mix right in between, right? We talked about yesterday all of that ice that's coming into Atlanta as we speak, actually, I think they're getting that freezing rain early this morning, and it's ongoing right now. What about your temperatures? Well, we're still below average right now, which makes sense because we're getting snow anywhere from Oklahoma to the East Coast, but we do see a little bit of a warm up. So any of that snow that's on the ground will be melting over the next few days. I bet by the early portion of next week, we're going to see a lot of that gone. Now, taking a look at your current conditions, let's see all of that rain that moved in. There you go. All of that rain and snow that moved into the east and the southeast yesterday is still ongoing. Here's a better look of that breakdown between rain, freezing rain, or sleet, and then snow up to the north. So I think this does a better job of really breaking that down, where we've got that mixed weather, anywhere from snow to sleet to freezing rain to rain in Atlanta right now. It's very messy in Atlanta right now. Northeastern side of the U.S., dry for now, however, snow tomorrow, and then if you head up to the west, you see some of that winter weather that's moving in that will bring us more winter weather, more snow, more freezing rain through the Rockies tomorrow as well. Current temperatures are sitting right at that freezing line here in Oklahoma City. We've seen a little bit of melting here in Oklahoma City. In the sun, that snow is kind of melting. In the shade, that snow is sticking around, especially the grassy areas. That snow is sticking around. Dallas at 35 right now. Atlanta at 33. Fort Wayne at 25, so the farther north and northeast that you go, those colder those temperatures are. But hey, Miami has warmed up a bit. We're at 71 in Miami. All right, let's talk about those fire concerns. Your wind advisory, excuse me, little hiccup, and your high wind warning is in effect from now until 6 o'clock this evening. That does include Los Angeles. Let's move through some of these here. Actually, let's keep on talking about the fire alerts right now. Okay, critical fire weather with gusts up to 65 miles an hour. I told you that we would talk about the gusts up to 65 miles an hour. You can see the area highlighted here for Palm Springs in this kind of pink red color. That is the level 2 critical fire danger. We've got high wind gusts in this area and dry vegetation. And let's see if we can actually just pull up a live camera. This is the snow, but let's get the snow off of here. Okay, there we go. There's your California live camera. As I mentioned earlier, I'm producing at the same time as I'm talking, so it may take me a little bit to get to these, but here, let me get you a full picture here. Are the fires ongoing out in California right now. You can see all of that smoke. And as I look at different fires, I think that you can actually see my map whenever I go out. Yeah, there we go. So that video was from Fallbrook, which is in the southern side of California, just to the south of Los Angeles, but we're to the north, like if you just go up the coast from Tijuana. If we look at some of these other camera views, you can see how just like hazy it is. You can see how hazy this is. The air quality, because of all the smoke, is going to be really, really bad. So even for people who aren't necessarily, look at that. Do you see that on the horizon right there? Really, really bad air quality. So for people that aren't impacted directly by the fires are going to be impacted by the smoke and the poor air quality in this area. So that's just another hazard on top of all of the devastating fires that have been ongoing. Okay, let's move on. Let's get to our graphics once again. Here, critical fire weather for today. We'd see some relief for tomorrow. However, that could change. And then it looks like we're going to see better relief as we head into the end of the weekend. Current alerts right now, we just saw the winter storm warning and the winter weather advisory canceled or expired for Oklahoma and Texas. So before, we had almost 1,500 miles of winter weather alerts through Sunday, but we saw that expire for Oklahoma and Texas. So we're not seeing that 1,500 anymore, 1,500 miles of alerts anymore. What we are seeing right now is mainly through the Tennessee Valley, out to the East Coast, and for portions of the Midwest, we have a winter weather advisory highlighted in purple, and we have a winter storm warning highlighted in pink, and that goes through Sunday for some of our East Coast friends, and that goes through today or Saturday, depending on where you live across Arkansas and Tennessee. Now, do we have severe weather today? No, not today. No significant hail expected. We love our hail maps. However, we are not using them today. If you need a hail map from storms that have happened in the past, give us a call. We'll have our contact information here in just a few minutes. But let's talk about your 24-hour snowfall totals, okay? You can see anywhere from Vega to Amarillo. We saw some pretty good snow yesterday, but that was just the very beginning of our snow. We saw more snow as we headed through Oklahoma, especially on the eastern side of the state. My parents are up in Tulsa. They were sending us pictures from the backyard, getting about 6 to 8 inches of snow out in Tulsa. That's a lot for Tulsa. Out in Texas, now you're going to see a difference between places just to the north of Dallas and to the south of Dallas. Do you see that? We got a ton of snow up in McKinney and Sherman. However, if you go farther down to the south, not as much snow. What happened here? Well, that's the ice. That's the snow turning into the ice as temperatures warmed up just a little bit. I bet you can see on the right-hand side of your screen that we've got way more snow in places like Arkansas and Memphis. Just some really impressive snowfall totals through there. And then we continue to see this track to the east into Tennessee and Kentucky as we headed into the late night hours last night and early this morning. Really just a dusting for a lot of people up there, but you could get 1, 2, 3 inches on the southern side of some of these states, southern side of Arkansas, southern side of Illinois. Got some better snowfall totals. And just to show you how much snow we've been seeing, not just this one round right now, however, the round over the weekend, still we've got some snow on the ground up in places like Kansas City. And then we also have snow out to the west, out to the Pacific Northwest, in the mountainous areas. So there's a good portion of the country that's covered in snow right now, actually a better chance to be covered in snow than to not have any snow at all. Look at how many people have at least an inch of snow on the ground. Pretty impressive there. All right, let's get to your radar here. We have, of course, all of that winter weather ongoing in the central eastern portion of the U.S., but we also have winter weather coming in out to the northwest, and we'll talk about both of those. Let's get through some of these here. There you go. There's your rain down to the south into Florida, Alabama, getting up into northern Georgia, all of that ice. We talked about this ice. We've been talking about this ice for 4 or 5 days now in Atlanta, and that's what's happening right now. They've got freezing rain going on. Snow farther up to the north, so we can kind of break this down. Snow through Tennessee, snow through Kentucky. Your snowfall totals go lower the farther north that you go. Higher elevations, of course, are going to see greater snowfall totals. We could still see some ice down in Raleigh and some snow up in New York. We'll break this down here in just a minute. I'll talk about snowfall totals in DC. We'll talk about snowfall totals in, I have one more city. Who did I pick? We'll have to see in just a minute. Let's head out to the west. So after all of this is out of the East Coast, we turn our attention back to the west tomorrow, and we are expecting snow through the Rockies once again. Now, definitely in the higher elevations, could we see snow in places like Denver, Omaha, Minneapolis? I think it's definitely possible. However, your snowfall totals aren't too terribly impressive. We could see some lake effect snow through the end of this weekend and early next week. Look at all of that snow going off of the Great Lakes. Hang on, it'll show it in just a minute once again. As we get to Sunday, there you go. The snow hits the Great Lakes, and we could see lake effect snow up into Michigan. This snowstorm will not be as impactful as the snowstorm ongoing right now, but still many people will get snow. And it kind of dies out as it gets into our New England states. We don't have as much snow ongoing in our New England states here. Alrighty. Now let's break down city by city. How much snow are we going to get in places like, we're getting into our Midwest states here. Tennessee looks like we're going to get some better snowfall totals. Appalachians, of course, we always get better snowfall totals in the Appalachians. Here we go, city by city. Let's start with Cincinnati. Cincinnati, models are agreeing here about 2 to 3 inches of snow here. Not going to shut down the city, but enough to coat the ground, right? Washington, D.C., we're looking at also a pretty, models are agreeing here about 1 to 2 inches of snow in Washington, D.C. There's all of that freezing rain and ice from Atlanta to Raleigh. And here's your chance for ice. I like to show this. Pretty good chance. I mean, it's ongoing right now, so a really high chance for Atlanta to get ice out. Ice from Atlanta to Raleigh as well. There you go. There's your changeover. I really, really like this graphic because it shows a good changeover from snow to ice. You can see where the freezing line is. This is my favorite game. Spot the freezing line. Where is it? Right along the Tennessee, Georgia state line, all the way between North and South Carolina. There's your freezing line. Let's pull this back large. There you go. So you can see it a little bit better now. And I think temperatures are next. Oh, snow accumulations through next week. I told you that storm next week that's coming in from the Pacific Northwest going to impact the Midwest. We're not expecting a ton of snowfall from this. We are expecting better snowfall totals just off of the lakes up into Michigan. You know, there's your lake effect snow that I mentioned. But really, for the most part, if you're not up in a mountainous region, you're not going to see great snowfall totals here. And there's your temperatures. Let's pull in our live cameras as we talk about temperatures. So there's your snow cameras right here out in Arkansas. We have a complete backup, it looks like, from people going on the left-hand side of the screen. I think that's northbound, from people going northbound. And I can actually show you. And if you weren't here at the very beginning of the live, you may be hearing my sweet dog who just needs some attention right now. She's making lots of noises. Whoops. Mile marker 106, that's where you're looking right now. So this is right to the southwest of Little Rock. You can see this area right here completely backed up. And we don't know if this is weather related, but it does look like there's still snow on the ground. So it may be weather related here. All right, back to the maps, back to the graphics. Temperatures are in the 20s as we head into the overnight hours and early morning on Saturday. 20s here in Oklahoma City and for most of the southeast, but we are still holding on to the teens in Kansas City. We warm up to the freezing mark through the weekend, but this snow has actually dropped our temperatures, where before this system came in, it looked like our temperatures were going to be in the mid to upper 30s, and even some in the 40s for Oklahoma and portions of the southeast. Now with the snow on the ground, it's going to keep us a little bit cooler, so we're bumping down those temperatures a little bit. It does look like we're going to warm up into the early portion of next week, but look at that intrusion of cold air by early Monday morning for some of us. It looks like temperatures are going back below zero in Bismarck. That's going to be pretty confined to the Midwest as we head into the middle of the work week. Still staying below average out to the east through the middle of January. And, ooh, this is a change. So if you watched our forecast yesterday and the day before, it looked like we were staying pretty dry for the middle of January. However, it looks like as we go into the end of the month here, so we'll say the last, the third quarter of the month, that's what we'll say. Not the last week, but that second to last week, we could see once again above average rainfall totals, which this time of the year, you know, could also be snowfall totals as well. So we're looking at some wet weather towards that third week of the month. All right, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for dealing with some of our technical issues. You know that whenever we do this from home, I'm so glad that we can do this from home and we don't have to brave the conditions to get into the office. We're going to have some technical difficulties. It's going to happen. Thanks for joining us today. As I mentioned earlier, if you want more information on those wind, hail, or tornado maps, we do reports that help to close your insurance claims faster. Give us a call at, I'll show it on the screen here. There you go, 855-334-4245, or email us at info@hailtrace.com, or head over to our website for more information, hailtrace.com. Also, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We love to see your follows, your comments, share your hail and winter weather photos with us. All right, have a fantastic Friday. We'll be back here same time, same place on Monday.